Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special broadcast. The year 2020. Let's begin. Here is your host for tonight's special broadcast. Please welcome Riley King.
Good, happy Tuesday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this special broadcast right here on the Riley King Network. The year of 2020. As you know, it's been a crazy 2020 due to getting hit with COVID-19 in the whole world and making things and businesses have issues with all this coronavirus and states shutting down. Lots of things happened this year in 2020. So a lot of people will say 2020 sucked this year due to coronavirus and things. But hopefully the new year will look better. Let's begin and take a look at the year 2020. Let's take a look at the good stuff that happened in 2020 and not the bad stuff. Let's begin this special broadcast right now.
First, we take a look at Eugene Levi on Smitch Creek. Emmy wins. His favorite scene to shoot from the show. The year 2020. Let's take a look at this video first.
Into Emmy night, I think we thought we had a good shot at maybe one or two awards. We may have had a shot at Best Comedy, but I wasn't holding my breath on that one.
And the Emmy goes to... Thank you, Academy.
I mean, it's like, Sally Field, what? They like me. They really like me. It's like, they really love this show.
You see, I told you I was good.
It was totally a surreal night. Like I said, it was like the dream you never want to wake up from. When my son Daniel won his Emmy for writing, what was flashing through my mind was that moment when he came up and said, "Do you want to work on an idea for a show with me?" I think in our second show, when there's a leak in the ceiling, Johnny's getting drenched with water, and he's fed up.
Oh my God!
I can't do
this
it.
This place is a dump.
I
It's
tried.
a dump. You know what? It's a hellhole.
I tried, John, but I can't.
It was an amazing experience, and certainly Daniel got a kick out of that one. I get a little finicky about the hair, so he writes a scene where my hair is absolutely soaking wet, and I've got to play the entire scene with soaking wet hair.
I'll do it myself.
That's an example of just how great those scenes were, those family scenes. And maybe it's because they really were parent-child scenes, As a dad, I actually totally got behind what those scenes were about and why they were so funny. Those are the scenes that I absolutely loved doing for 6 years.
Okay, we'll be right back. And welcome back to this special broadcast, the year 2020. Now we take a look at Congresswoman-elect Cori Bush reflects on her Black Lives Matter roots and why she ran for Congress. Let's take a look at that video right now.
14, when we would say Black Lives Matter and all the pushback that we would receive, I remember we would say it and, people would call us terrorists. But saying Black Lives Matter, we kept saying it year after year. And now 6 years later, when George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many others were murdered, now we look up and we started to protest. And people were like, Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, now I see. Now I get it, because like this is really messed up. When people were able to see it that way, then it was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you know what? This keeps happening, and this is, now we tired of seeing it. Now I've had white people say to me, I'm tired. I'm white, and I'm tired of white people ish. Like that's what they're saying, and so now we have corporations saying Black Lives Matter. We got the big signs, and that's the hash. It's not only the hashtag. It's commercial. It's on clothing. It's all over the place that Black Lives Matter. It's a fad. But what we need to do is not allow it to be a fad. We need it to be fact. Because when it's fact, we get to live. And so that's what we're pushing for now. So that's what we're seeing now that's different. In 2014, I have to say, we did have all walks of life out there on the street with us, but for the sustained movement, it didn't end up staying that way. What we saw this time here in 2020, we saw young folks out, just the numbers of young folks that were out in the street from every walk of life, every color, every background, every religious belief or no belief, all of us out there together and like fierce fighting, that's what we needed to see. And hopefully the world woke up. We'll see.
Okay, and we will be right back.
And welcome back to the year 2020. Let's talk about Brad Paisley on COVID-19, canceling his tour but sparking a new initiative to help others. Brad Paisley on turning COVID-19 shutdown fears into action to feed others. Brad Paisley was holding back tears as he sang his hit song, Last Time for Everything, of thousands of fans during a show in Canada in March. The country music star could feel the gravity of that song because he knew as soon as he walked off stage that his world tour was over. The growing COVID-19 pandemic was shutting everything down. Not only was the virus itself terrifying, but ending a tour only 2 weeks after it started without knowing when they could perform again was going to be a huge financial hit for everyone, from the band and crew to tour managers and music studios. I can barely sing it because I know, Paisley said in an interview for ABC News special, The Year 2020. I didn't know it was going to be this long, but if I had known that, I would have broken down sobbing, not being able to sing it. It was hard to get through, he continued. It got emotional for me when we said goodnight that night. And here it is, December, and we haven't done anything like that show. Over the following weeks, Paisley and his family watched with the rest of the world as the pandemic and resulting shutdowns wreaked havoc on people's lives and the economy. COVID-19 shutdowns have devastated the music and live entertainment industry as concert venues remain closed. To date, over 300,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus. Nearly 11 million remain unemployed, according to the U.S. Department of Labor's most recent data from November. I found myself really scared in the beginning of this, Paisley said. It really hit me that a lot of people were probably going to die. The sadness of that hit me pretty hard. Seeing an entire year worth of shows planned for his 2020 world tour evaporate from his schedule hit him like a ton of bricks, he said. He can release music, Paisley added, but not being able to tour to promote it is a huge financial hit for everyone, from the crew to the studios. Paisley said that fear and helplessness is what led him and his wife, actress Kimberly Williams Paisley, to launch new initiatives around food insecurity and food assistance. In March, they opened a free year-round grocery store called The Store in Nashville to help needy families. There is no charge to those referred or the people and agencies that send them, according to its website. Then in September, they pledged to donate 1 million meals to food banks in 16 major cities. The couple and food brand Tillier and Hatch worked with nonprofit Feeding American on initiative, which was called the Million Meals Donation Tour. For Paisley, music continues to be the medicine for the soul. Like several other country stars, he has performed and connected with fans virtually, streaming quarantine concerts from his Tennessee home and collaborating on Zoom with Darius Rucker, Carrie Underwood, and other artists. Looking ahead to the future, one thing Paisley said he and his fellow artists will never take for granted again is being able to play live shows in front of their fans. And we will be right back with more. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome to this special right here on the Riley King Network, the year 2020. Now, we take a look at Mark Cuban. Says Shark Tank learned from NBA's bubble to keep staff safe from COVID-19. Cuban says the Shark Tank staff was in a bubble for 19 days. Let's take a listen to that video.
19 total days of shooting, I think it was. I didn't see sunlight. I mean, that's how precise and strict that bubble was. We kind of took a page from the NBA in our approach to filming season 12 of Shark Tank. We all went to the Venetian Hotel and quarantined. And when I say all, not just the sharks who were filming, not just the entrepreneurs who were participating, but the several hundred people on staff doing production, doing hair, doing makeup. The process in place was incredible. I had to follow a very specific path to my little wardrobe room where I got to change, and my professionally cleaned wardrobe. Hair and makeup were dressed in hazmat suits that looked like something out of the movie Contagion. And then they would put hair and makeup. They would do hair and makeup. We'd walk to the set. We were 6.5 feet apart. The entrepreneurs could no longer come in and make a pitch and drop something in front of us as a sample, or if we do a deal, congratulate and hug. That all changed. Everything supported social distancing. When we were done, then I followed the arrows to go back to the elevator that only I used, and it worked. We got season 12 shot. There were hundreds of staff members, production and crew members that were able to work, and we all took pride knowing that we really set an example for how to produce and shoot COVID-free.
Okay, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to the year 2020. Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and we'll have to see what comes ahead for 2021 in the new year. And we want to hear from you. What do you remember from the year 2020? Tell us what is the best thing that you remembered in 2020 and the worst thing that you remembered in 2020. And we look forward to seeing you in 2021. Thank you for joining us for this broadcast and this special broadcast right here on the Riley King Network. Good night and goodbye, everyone.